Thank you, Sean. Lee Lieberg again, Lance Real Estate, but this week I had the honor of serving as the regional chair for Region 16 at C.A.R.'s fall meetings, the last meetings of the year. For those of you who have not been, we have about 20 different committees that meet, and today is really to give you an update from what happened in those 20 meetings. We also have the expo that goes on at the same time, and hopefully you all had a chance to go to the expo and took the bus down there and took advantage of some of the Tech Tuesday meetings and some of the classes that went on throughout the week. But the part that we're focused on today is really the business side of it, and it's the side of the backbone of our industry and what we're trying to do to make our industry better. Everything that you're going to hear today, you should kind of look through the lens of housing affordability and shortage of housing, because that's the number one issue right now throughout the state. Locally, certainly it is. Our inventory here is very, very low right now. I looked at Alhambra the other day, and I think we had 16 homes were sold last month, and we had 17 active listings. So we're really, as my dad would say, you can't sell out of an empty cart. But we do have to worry about the inventory, and we do have to worry about affordability, and so that's what C.A.R. is focused on right now. So with that, I'm going to call on our President-elect, Helen Chen Marston, who will be followed by immediate past President Kevin Kwan, who will be followed by our President Susie Dunkel Soto. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm part of a committee of legislative, land use, environment, and the local government. We have a lot of things going on, and in fact, because of the time limitation, I will focus on a few items. In 2018, we'll have a lot upcoming state ballot measures. And C.A.R. identified some of them are not real estate related, but we do have some. One of them, that's unnumbered proposition for the November 6, 2018 state ballot, entitled State Bill 3, Veterans and Affordable Housing Bond Act of 2018, and C.A.R. adopt 4 position is we support. Under the land use and environmental, C.A.R. sponsored legislation to expand existing provisions for expedited permitting of infill housing developments. A little background. We all know the consequences of the housing crisis are very expensive. So the ultimate solution is to build more. But at the same time, the large development projects are facing a huge opposition at the local level from different groups, including neighborhood. And because of these huge oppositions, the local government also reluctant to approve some of the large housing projects. And so the legislation thinks if a housing bill is only applied for the urban infill of 25 units or less, it might avoid a lot of concerns, and it helps to mitigate those arguments. So that's why, C.A.R. sponsored this with the legislation. Another one, C.A.R. supports legislation that makes it clear that local density bonus and inclusionary zoning ordinance taken together cannot increase the percentage of affordable housing that a developer must build. The state density bonus law is mandate on local government but this only presents the minimum award, so the local government are at the liberty to increase a density bonus. But however, when a developer seeks and agree a density bonus, the local government has no authority to require greater affordable housing set aside than is already required by the state law. For example, at a certain size of the housing project, for example, you can, under the zoning code, you can build 100, and under the state law, the bonus, density bonus, you maybe can have 20% more for affordable housing. If the local government asks you to build another 10 side by side in order to qualify for that 20% bonus, this is not invalid. We do have standard form. So on December, approximately we will have 15 revised forms and 3 new forms. So you have to pay attention. Now you need to focus on those forms. Those 3 new forms include team agreement, an agreement between broker and photographer, setting forth the terms for usage of photos, and possibly an agreement solely for the storage of a buyer's personal property before close of escrow. So be careful, watch out all those forms. It will be in place on December. So now I'd like to share a couple cases. I found it very interesting. A potential buyer viewing a property that had multiple warnings posted about empty swimming pool. The plaintiff fell into the empty swimming pool after standing on a defective diving board to look over the fence. The injured plaintiff sued the listing agent. Do you want to know the result?
Yes.
Who won the case?
Yes. I think I can tell. We're in California, they got it.
Okay, the Court of Appeal ruled in favor of the listing agent, who had posted multiple warnings about a potentially dangerous condition. The court reasoned the action of the plaintiff and the risks were not foreseeable. So what you learn from the case, when you input your listing, if you think something twice, what you do? Disclose, and lower your expectation on others. So if you think something might be dangerous, just warnings.
Don't people walking around.
As long as you did your diligence, and then I believe the law is fair. Another case. The Court of Appeal held that the Bureau of Real Estate has discretion to keep publicly available information about a licensee's prior convictions on the Bureau's website, even if the convictions were eventually expunged under the penal code. However, the licensee is petitioning for review by the California Supreme Court. So what you learn from this case: be ethical, be professional, don't commit crime, because you never know how long to go after you. And then some of the information are publicly on the website. And so as a professional, just be a realtor that had a good standard. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be back. after a long week in San Diego. It's a pleasure and honor. Just want to first kind of start off because I've been doing this for about, I think, like 5 or 6 years, serving as a board of director for the California Association of Realtors, and that was my last meeting. I may come back and serve again later on in the future, but there's some things that I want to kind of take care of first. So it's been a wonderful ride. I'll miss the 8 a.m. meetings that we have in the morning and getting to report back to you guys. But as kind of Lee said, the biggest sentiment throughout the whole week is affordability, supply. The other thing I've kind of noticed, when I first started, it was kind of after the crash, and there are so many things that they're trying to catch up with to try to recover the marketplace. In the last few meetings, there hasn't been very big pressing issues because the market's been so good, but there's still been some issues that you guys should probably be aware of. And some will hit pretty close to home for you guys. And the first one that I'm going to go over, I serve on 2 committees. The first one is transaction and regulatory. And this probably may affect a lot of you guys in this room. Who has probably gotten a bill from a city for doing business in their city? Monterey Park, I think Azusa's out there. So there is a bill that's kind of circling around. They don't anticipate it to happen until 2019, but it's in regards to business license taxes. Uber has created a legislation in regards to, because they travel from city to city, right? So it's very similar to us. We were a little bit late to adopt and try to tag onto their bill, but we're almost in the same case as Uber drivers drive from one city to another city. We do businesses in multiple different cities, and some cities are requiring you to have a business license in each one of those cities, and that can add up. Some are going retroactively too, so if you've been doing business in their city for quite some time, they're going to send you a bill for that. It is completely legal. Every city has this regulation. It's whether they want to implement and apply it is up to each city. So there is one that's circling around, and it is SB 247. So if you guys want more information on that, that is the bill. Currently, right now, C.A.R. has put a position to kind of watch this bill. And the only reason being is because they don't want to go full force on this, because if they do so, they're afraid that the cities will start to regulate this much more closely, so then your fees will actually get impacted, because then they'll start to go after you guys individually for doing businesses in their city. So right now they're doing a watch position, and what they've done is there's another motion out to create a working group to kind of figure out how we can, work with this bill. So that will be coming down the pipeline. So kind of watch out for SB 247. The other thing that we have in terms of federal issues, this may not apply to us too much, but the flood insurance availability. So the House of Representatives is currently considering, or currently working on the 21st Century Flood Reform Act. And there are some homes that are in flood areas that have flooded multiple times, and that cost to replace it is kind of increasing the insurance costs out there. So they're trying to take out, if a home has flooded or the replacement cost has covered twice the amount of the home value, they will no longer be able to receive insurance. So I don't think that applies a whole lot to us, but that is something that they are working on as well too. This is going to impact, or potentially impact, every transaction that we have, is home inspectors. There is legislation right now that they're trying to impose, is to create a higher standard for home inspectors. So right now, anybody can technically be a home inspector. Of course, they do have other associations which hold to higher standards. CREA is one of those. But what they're kind of maybe potentially implementing is that home inspectors need to be licensed. So how they're going to work that, they don't know 100% yet. It could be that every home inspector must be a licensed contractor, but the opposition to that would be, if that is the case, that could increase the fees, right? So maybe it's just creating a better standard for home inspectors instead of just saying anybody can be one. So watch out for that. That is, if you want more information on that, that's AB 717. Let's see, what else do we have? I'll move on to realtor risk management and consumer protection. So the Escrow Association came and talked to us for that forum. And one of the things, the biggest issues that they're still contending with is wire frauds out there. So they are trying to work with legislation to create maybe some type of bill where they're able to, if there is like wire fraud that has been, that has occurred, that they would at least be able to freeze the accounts. Because right now, if you guys are ever involved in wire frauds, somebody hacks into one of your client's emails and they wire the money to a bogus account. That money is pretty much gone if the FBI or the police, they can't recover the funds. It's pretty much an initiated wire from the consumer. So they're hoping if they can see if they can at least freeze the accounts now. Home warranty came and spoke to us as well too. There's a couple of things. This may not apply to us too much, but maybe if you guys have clients up in the Anaheim Hills during the fires, you guys are able, or the client is able to actually cancel the policy if the house has burned down. So that might be something you can talk to your clients about. Something I also didn't know is the home warranty plans, they could be transferable as well too. So that's something that maybe you can look into with your clients. Lastly, a couple of the legal updates. All you broker managers, and broker associates, right now with the BRE, if you are a broker associate, your license isn't hung, it's hung with a broker if you're working under a broker, but it doesn't say if you look up on the licensee list on the website. January 1st, you will now be just like, there's a different category for all broker associates, so it will show the broker that you work under for now. Lastly, Gov said put your license on everything. One good thing is on Friday, I believe, or Saturday, Governor Brown signed the bill that we are now back to the Department of Real Estate. So we are no longer the BRE, which is a good thing. If you have BRE, you have DRE, you have license number, as long as you have your license number, it is okay, right? So if you have BRE, it's okay. So you don't have to go change your cards or change all your things. It's as long as you have your license number, it is okay. The last thing I wanted to kind of touch on real quick was how to stay out of trouble. So we did have an attorney, and this is something that I'm going to practice. And he talked about, most of the times when we're working with buyers, with sellers, you typically will, or let's give a case for the sellers. You get an offer, you maybe send it over to your client, or you say, hey, we got an offer, you review all, let's say maybe one offer, 10 offers, and typically it'll probably take how long to review offers with your clients, let's say a seller.
You only have 3 days on the contract.
You have to review, but like sitting down with the client, actually going through the offer with it, how long does it typically take?
10 seconds.
10 seconds, right? Because they're relying on you to give the information. Now, so the attorney was advising us, he says, if anything would ever happen to go to court, the judge is going to ask, say, well, how long did you review the offer with your client? Or they'll talk to the client first, and they'll say, well, yeah, he came over, we sat down, we actually probably talked for about 20 minutes about life. Then he said, this is this price, this is how many days escrows, this is the deposit. We went through the offer in about 10 minutes, right? Which is probably most cases out there. So for us as professionals, how long did it take us to understand the purchase agreement?
Never.
Years, right? We're still learning, right? So how can you have a consumer understand the offer in about 10 minutes, right? So the case doesn't look very strong. So he has advised anytime you go on listing presentations, or if you're working with buyers, you want a buyer presentation, give them a copy of the sample of the purchase agreement for their reference for them to review. At least you've done your due diligence to actually give them a chance to review the offer, and if they have any questions, they can always go back to you. Will that necessarily happen? But at least that's another layer of protection for you guys. So hopefully you guys can learn a couple of things from that. And like I said, Susie's probably going to touch on a very good topic. I think this is one of the most controversial topics that we've had, I think, they're saying in like 30 years. It was handled very professionally, very well done. I was actually very proud to be on that board to go over this issue that Susie's going to kind of touch upon, because this is something that can change our industry for the better. All right? Thank you so much.
with that intro, I'm scared now, Kevin. As Kevin mentioned, this item, it's probably the biggest since Prop 13 to come. It's a huge opportunity for realtors as well. So we need to look into that. Just briefly, at the C.A.R. meetings, I am on the association president committee, or it's a forum, membership committee, and education. So, but as a C.A.R. director and your president, I have the opportunity to share this with you. At our fall meetings last year, the board of directors voted to put in a task group to focus on the property tax basis portability. And with that, they were looking at whether pursuing a ballot initiative was appropriate and feasible. What they were looking at is, you're all familiar with Proposition 60 and 90, and Florida has, what they kind of looked at, the proposition in place in Florida. And we looked at 3 different models, and one that they polled and got the best feedback on, very similar to Florida, except for Florida does not have an age restriction. So the initiative we're looking at would have a restriction: the homeowner must be 55 years of age, no restriction on the location of a replacement home, no restriction on the price of the replacement home, and no restriction on the number of times the basis can be transferred. So we're looking to have Prop 6090, instead of transfer from one county to another, to have it statewide, which would be really huge for us. And also, if let's say your client's home sells for $600,000 and they're looking to purchase for $800,000 or even $620,000, anything over their sell price voids Prop 60. So this, what it would do is set the basis. So whatever they're going over their selling price is what the new taxes would be put on. So this is a huge initiative. They're looking to increase about 43,000 transactions per year in our industry. And with the lack of inventory we have right now, this could be great. And it's also going to allow a lot of homeowners to move without being penalized and losing their tax benefit right now. I'd like to read to you the 2 motions that the board of directors voted in. Motion number 1, to approve the property tax basis portability task force recommendations that a ballot initiative for the November 2018 statewide ballot be circulated for signature gathering. The initiative will allow individuals 55 years of age and older to transfer the property tax basis to any home in the state, to purchase any home price, and transfer their basis as many times as they wish. According to the Legislative Analysis Office, almost 43,000 additional transactions will occur annually. The cost to circulate the initiatives for signature gathering is $3 million, with the cost of the subsequent campaign ranging between $30 million and perhaps upwards of $50 million. If the initiative is heavily contested, funding will come from C.A.R. political action committees, reserves, NAR's funds, and C.A.R. member assessment. Motion number 2. The Issues Action Fund allocation be increased by $100 contingent upon the adoption of the Property Tax Basis Portability Task Force motion to proceed with the ballot initiative. The entire increase of $100 would be allocated to state impact and dedicated to the campaign. The total Issues Action Fund would increase by $18,904,000. Silence. So what? In gathering the signatures, C.A.R. is going to rely on us realtors to help get 1 million signatures. I believe it's 548,000 based on the last voting turnout, is what's required. We're looking to exceed that, so we're sure that we're on the ballot. With this, it's a huge investment on all of our parts as well. On your 2018 dues, you're going to see an increase of $100. That's a mandatory increase. And as when we do Realtor Action Fund, which is an investment in your business, this is a mandatory investment in all our businesses. So it's a huge opportunity. It's huge for realtors to be behind this. It shows that we truly are out there to help the homeowners as well. So it's a great opportunity. It was very controversial. We were, as it was explained to us, when the vote came in, it was an overwhelming in favor, though there were some still that had some questions on it. But I'm looking at it as a huge opportunity for everybody. Yes, Bob?
Was there any discussion about not having an age restriction? I believe Florida has no age restriction whatsoever. And increases sales across the board.
Yes, that was one of the options. There were 3 different options, and that is the exact Florida model.
Can
But
I address that?
yeah.
So, Bob, that's it. Thank you, Susie. Great point. That is the Florida model, and that was the first model that we looked at. And the reason that we didn't go with that model is because in our polling, it didn't poll as well.
I voted for it.
I would have voted for it too. And the argument for it was, well, the millennials need a break also. They're the ones saddled with all this student loans and debt, and why don't they get the same break that the seniors get? But the reason that it polled better when you put the 55 in was just like when they passed Prop 13 in '78, it was tied to the seniors and being fair to the seniors, and this is somewhat connected to that. So when they did the polling, it polled significantly better, and we don't want to lose this issue. We can't afford to lose this issue. If we're going to get into this thing, we've got to really make sure we win it. So I think if it were not for the polling numbers saying that we have a much better chance at 55, I think everybody was on the same page as you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Like Lisa, we're in it to win it. To get it, first to get it onto the ballot, and then 2 to get it approved by the voters. Yes.
I have an unrelated question.
Yes.
On the proposed income tax change. Was there any discussion about them taking away our ability to write off state and local taxes, which includes property taxes? That to me is a big tax increase.
Yeah, it was discussed. I'll let Lee was directly in all these meetings.
That was discussed at length, was the federal tax reform that's coming through. Whether or not it's coming through, who knows? What form, we're not sure. But there's a number of things that they're doing. They're talking about eliminating the deduction of the state income tax, which would affect us in a negative way, would help states that don't have an income tax. So in effect, the states that don't have an income tax have been subsidizing the states that do. So that's where.
At Arcadia yesterday, they said it included our property taxes. And to me, that's a big deal. If it includes our property taxes, we can no longer write off.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but I'm not sure if that's being proposed or not.
They said there's an NAR thing coming out yesterday that we were supposed to respond to.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
I did get it.
What did it say?
But let me address it next week. Let me do so I'm a little more knowledgeable about it. The issue that they covered the most had to do with deducting your mortgage interest. And what they've done is it's pretty technical and dry, but what they've done is they've doubled the standardized deduction, and then that will greatly reduce the number of people who itemize their tax deductions, and then they estimate that only a fraction of people will still take the mortgage interest deduction. And they look at this as a strategy, as one step towards killing it. So that if they can say, you know, okay, we're still giving you this because we're increasing the standardized deduction, it's going from 12,000 to 24,000, it's better for most people, true, but if they can come back 10 years from now or 20 years from now, the next time they do tax reform and say, only 5% of the people use the mortgage interest deduction, and it's the rich people that use it. Why don't we do away with it? And that's what we're afraid of. So we want to incentivize home ownership. So, but I'll be happy to talk to you more about that. Thank you.
Yeah. On that, Bob, there was, I believe it was actually a red alert yet, but there was a notice that did go out by NAR yesterday on the, it just proposed tax reform could raise taxes on middle class homeowners. So do a search in your emails from NAR on tax reform and see if it pulls up from there. It's not letting me click onto it now. It's saying it'll go live yesterday afternoon, but I know I took action on it yesterday morning, so it should be up. I don't know, just because I did, I now can't access it. I can't double vote. So, be prepared for the increase. It's there and it's non-negotiable, but it is for us and for our business. So start saving now and just be prepared for it. You know, we're there all week, our meetings. Kevin, you're lucky. I had meetings starting at 7 a.m. and I did the 6 a.m. spin cycle for our housing affordability fundraiser. That was crazy. But no, it's a great week that we're there, and it's great to be on that side to hear what's going on and have a voice and be involved in change that affects our industry. Can I just pop into my message real quick? Okay. With that, what the Committee I'm on Association President, we had a video contest with boards throughout the state. Not it. Stop. Stop. Buzz. Is there a sound with it too? So we submitted a video. We didn't win, but I'm biased, and I think we should have been. We're as good as the others, if not better. But this is just a little insight as to why why get involved in leadership. And you know, we're here to help, to talk to you, to guide you, and hopefully we can get you guys more involved to join us in leadership. Go ahead.
Sometimes it just takes tapping someone on the shoulder to get involved, and it's nice to see their surprise that somebody believes in them.
You don't need decades and decades of experience to contribute as a leader. Even new or newer realtors have a perspective.
From a meeting, to serving in the community, to serving in the board, to leadership at the board, to leadership in the community. It's really nice to watch that evolve.
I joined leadership to set an example for younger realtors and encourage them to be active within the real estate community because we are the future of real estate.
It's all about serving our members and getting an opportunity to be a voice. I mean, I believe the more people you serve, the greater you become.
It's true that it takes a lot of my extra time to be wherever I'm involved. But when things happen because of my involvement or my efforts make a difference, those moments are the best rewards for what I do.
Being involved at your local association allows you the opportunity to interact with government officials at your local city, state, and nationally. Your voice is powerful. Let it be heard to make a difference.
This seat's for you.
We need you.
a great video, and it just talks about why be involved, and that starts with your committees and serving your community. What I want to bring to your attention, where is it? On page 11 and 12 of the bulletin, we have awards nomination application form. So if any of your colleagues you feel should be, you can nominate as Realtor of the Year, Affiliate of the Year, Good Neighbor of the Year Award, and Distinguished West San Gabriel Valley Association of Realtors Distinguished Service Award. And on the back are some of the criteria that fit within to ensure one is qualified for that position. So if you can fill this in, be greatly appreciated as the awards committee sits down and looks at who you feel has been an example in those categories. So please take the time and do that. I didn't mention that I was going to save the announcement, but it is quite exciting to mention that West San Gabriel Valley Association of Realtors has won, our global committee, we have won the Platinum Award for a 6th time? 7th time? And this is our 4th consecutive. So it's a huge opportunity, great efforts to Jennifer, Tom, Bertie, and so they have our chair and vice chair of the committee. And all the everyone who's participated. We have a great committee and it's recognized nationally. So congratulations. Thank you.